Greetings from the Omziel Healing Sanctuary. We're here back again. I have a wonderful guest and he has plenty of things to share. So if you could just give us a few minutes of your time, I'm sure you can learn a thing or two. So I'll just let him introduce himself.
Good day to everyone watching this video. My name is Alexis. I'm a local mystic here in North Bergn, and I am an energy healer and a facilitator of space with the mission of bringing mass awareness and community to everyone, authentically, purely, holistically.
That's wonderful. You speak about energy work, and we've had some other discussions offline about that. And perhaps you could tell me about some of the events that you've been involved in and how did that look?
Yes. So I am an energy healer who practices many different types of energy healing, such as Reiki, pranic healing, shamanic healing, sound healing, aromatherapy, a lot of versatile ways of healing. So I have experiences in many different events, many different communities, one of them being the Source community, where it is an environment where people are there to be. All different types of people with different expressions, different crafts, all coming together on the same frequency. A lot of the time in an outdoor area. The first Source gatherings would happen in Asbury Park, and eventually the community grew and we were able to go out into like Wantage or Spencer, deep into the woods where we're completely surrounded by Mother Nature, purely, without any distortion, without any loud noises, without any lower vibrating people. And we could be there doing our sound healing, singing and dancing, ecstatic dancing, a lot of plant medicine, a lot of guided meditations, a lot of yoga, a lot of other types of expressions such as like fire spinning or like kung fu, so many different slices of life. Spirituality is such a large spectrum. Someone can be spiritual being a very business person. Someone can be very spiritual being in the middle of the woods like a shaman. Someone can be very spiritual being a scientist. Spirituality in its essence is just connected to your spirit. It's just a connection to your spirit. And people like us are just here to create an environment where you can be connected to your spirit and not worry with little ego things such as, can I say these things? Can I act this way? Can I be near these people? Am I worthy of being near these people? At the end of the day, we all come from the same source. So we should feel safe and empowered to be in an environment like that. We deserve it.
That's wonderful. Some of these events that you've been involved in, tell me a little bit more about like the behind the scenes and organizing, if you've been involved in that aspect of it. And then like, what do people come out with after attending some of these events?
Yes. So the organization of this type of community can be very difficult because we do live in a very difficult day and age where as taxes go up and everything goes up, our wage stays the same. We have to pay more rent, more water, more mortgages, more gas, more travel. So a lot of the times it is very difficult to find people willing to work and people who understand how community works. When you give birth to a child and you hope one day that that child maybe can be an athlete one day, you cannot expect that child right out of the womb to be running and catching footballs and sprinting miles. Same thing with a community. A big problem that I've reached is everyone is very much concerned with themselves and not so much the community, rightfully so because of the day and age that we live in. I don't just have experience with my spiritual craft, I also have experience with photography, cinematography, Photoshop, video editing, and that's a big thing that is difficult. To build a community, you need to be seen and you need to be heard. Working with these communities, I see a lot of people that are there more for egotistical reasons or for financial reasons. Yes, I can come to your event, but will you pay for my gas? Will you pay for my hours there? What happens if something happens to my equipment? So that brings a lot of separation. I've had the blessing that through my communications, through the people I've met people with the same mindset, understanding that when starting something so powerful, so precious, and so early, a lot of the times you're going to be spending more money than receiving, and it will be like that for a long time. You're going to be spending a lot of your time, a lot of your energy. It's going to drain you sometimes. It's going to scare you sometimes, seeing that I'm spending hundreds of dollars and getting nothing out of it. In the beginning, after building this community and seeing people come and sharing these experiences, it's very beautiful coming out of that, knowing that there's this community here for sure. There's this space authentically here for me. People who come with a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression from everyday lives. It can be divorces and marriages. It can be the loss of loved ones. It could be feeling stuck in your life. I've gone to college, I've gotten my degree, I'm doing so much, and yet I feel like I'm wasting my time. A lot of the times these people just need a space to be with like-minded people authentically, a place of security and of healing for them to leave released. Sometimes you just need a space to authentically release. And that's what I've noticed. A lot of the people, not just people who partake in these events, but facilitators of the events, we all the same leave with the same mindset, the same energy. This is community, this is purity, this is love. And all we have to do is put a little bit in there to receive. That's all that you need.
Right. You know, we've experienced different things like that before here in Omziel. We've had different events here. We do ice bath, breath work, and we've had different retreats where we've went away. And there's lots of planning, lots of logistics going on behind the scenes, and people are always willing to help and pitch in. And you know, me as well, have been blessed to work with some wonderful, wonderful people who have put in lots of energy, time, and all of those things in order to make it happen, because they could see the bigger picture there. So, you know, with us, I've seen people walk away, you know, changed, renewed. I had one woman come here with her son that he was very closed in. And after the ice bath, you know, she was calling me like a couple of times a week, thanking me like, hey, I have my son back. You know, that's incredible what you're doing there. Like, and, you know, that type of reward, like you can't put a price on that. You can't buy that, and you can't even pay for someone to give you that. Like, it's just fascinating. So perhaps you can tell me a little bit about some of these events that you've been to, and in a healing capacity, and what are maybe one or two, you know, short standouts for you where people were changed somehow?
Specifically in the source community, I would usually go to participate in the events. But as I've stated before, I'm very big on community. I have my mission here. So generally I do a little more than I'm asked of, because you put a little more, you receive more. Besides the video work and the editing I do to create the vision, the physical thing that you can see what the community does for people who are outsiders to see, to feel more comfortable in, I do a lot of energy work. Specifically in the source community, I help people who have a lot of trauma. For example, a lot of veterans with PTSD from coming back from deployment and whatnot. I've done my shamanic healing, my Reiki healing. I've received my Master Reiki a while ago. And I've had grown men crying, releasing decades of trauma, maybe not even just necessarily from their time of their deployment. A lot of us men, because of how society conditions us to be, are grown with a lot of toxicity, a lot of expectations, a lot of don't be emotional, be logical, just think, don't feel. And in these environments, I also do guided meditations with energy healing. I'm able to help them release this energy, and not just release it, but understand the energy that they're releasing. When these grown men cry, it's not because they're crying because of randomly, it's because they're realizing my father put high expectations on me, or my drill instructors put high expectations, or the school system, society, my boss have put all these expectations on me that I cannot keep up with. And because I don't reach these expectations, I think negatively of myself. In these environments, I'm able to not only heal these people, but have them be aware that they're putting these impossible standards on themselves, and have them empower themselves with what they're just born with naturally. You shouldn't feel the need to prove yourself to people. You should feel happy being yourself. And if people genuinely care for you, like how we do in these communities, you can be purely, authentically yourself. Sometimes you just need a community, a safe place with people who are educated and experienced with certain skills to help you with that, such as plant medicine, sound healing, energy healing, yoga, and breath work. Sometimes just a little bit of these things brings awareness and brings empowerment to people who don't have this regularly at home.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I know. Like take the breath work, for instance, like it's like super, super powerful, you know? And just the breath alone, that's what ancient people already knew, that you can tap into deeper parts of your brain, right? Because we do breath work here too, and it's not a new thing. Like, yes, there's a person or two out there that have made these things very popular, very, very popular, but these things are like ancient, so.
Very much.
Something like with the breath, it's so powerful, I feel, because like you can go a bit without food, right? I think it's like 30 days, but with water, I think it's like 2 weeks or something like that, more or less, give or take, But like with breath, you need it all the time, And it's so simple because it's just located like right here below your nose, But that's wonderful work that you're doing, with the energy and with community building and stuff like that, So what do you have planned, like perhaps in the future? Is there anything that you're working on or something that you'd like to see come into fruition?
Yes. Hopefully very soon, working with the temple with Omziel. I want to specifically hold workshops and healing sessions with a group of veterans in particular. At the end of the day, there are different traumas, and you cannot invalidate anyone's traumas. You cannot compare anyone's traumas. But sometimes people go through things that nobody can really understand except for people who went through similar trauma. So I want to build a space where veterans who've had to go through very difficult things can come and understand, not just release this trauma, but understand the trauma they're going through, be with other brothers and sisters who have suffered the same way, and as a community have a safe space to express, to understand, and to rehabilitate from that. Because a lot of the times, these poor veterans with their trauma cannot live life normally. They cannot live a regular job. They cannot spend time with their families.
Right.
They have episodes, and these
that
episodes
we take for granted.
Exactly.
Right.
Sometimes it's just the buildup of overwhelming energy. So I want to be able to facilitate space for these veterans to heal, to empower, and to learn. One, they're not broken. Two, that they are not alone. Sometimes people just need to know that even though in this society that's very individualized and separate and very give me, I don't help you. People just need to realize that there are authentic people here that just want to see people thrive and to do well.
Right.
And I just want these people to do better. These are our heroes that protect us. The reason why we can sleep peacefully at night is because of all the energy, the lives, the mental space that they've sacrificed for us. So I want to be able to give back for them to remind themselves that even though they have these scars are what makes us human. These scars, our body, our minds are a canvas. And every scar is a beautiful story that can be healed and can be part of your art. And I just want these very brave men and women to know there's a space for them to realize the inner artist in them.
I appreciate that you mentioning that to come to fruition. And yeah, love to work in that area, helping people in those very deep issues. I know that these are issues and subjects that people don't like to delve into, and it's probably why people who come back from these situations are so marginalized, because it's just part of where humans just don't want to deal with that. So they just push them out, instead of, honoring them and exalting them, for doing some of those things. So I did experience some meditation with you earlier and some energy work and that guided meditation. That was just wonderful, bro. So, a workshop like that here, man, would be just outstanding. People would benefit from that like tremendously, but perhaps, you can tell me something a little bit more about that energy work. Like, how is it that you are able to tap into that and work with that?
Spirituality does not exist without science. Anything that we spiritually do here can be logically and scientifically explained. Breathing is so important because breathing directly correlates with the brain. If you breathe properly, you breathe deep, you breathe slow, you don't just slow down your heart rate, you don't just slow down the pumping of your blood, you slow down at the process in which your brain moves and the chemicals that it produces. When we breathe really quickly or we're not breathing enough and we're stressing out, the brain is producing cortisol and a whole bunch of other chemicals for the body to speed up and continue. And like perfect example, people like veterans with PTSD are constantly thinking about traumatic things and their brains are going a trillion miles per hour. Sometimes they just need a space to sit and to breathe. And energy work at the end of the day is just electromagnetic frequencies. Our body releases basically electricity. And, excuse me, energy work at the end of the day is the manipulation of this energy. If you're radiating a really high intense static that is damaging to the body, energy work and breath work and guided meditation simply is recalibrating the machine that is your body to produce electricity that is beneficial to you rather than harmful. When I perform my pranic healings or my Reiki healings, I am basically putting in a certain frequency and recalibrating that system. Our brain is literally a computer, and our body is a hard drive that runs the programs and makes the codes happen. And sometimes you just need to update it. Sometimes you need to change the programming. A certain mindset will keep you in a lower frequency. Sometimes you need to reprogram that frequency to work for you. So at the end of the day, to scientifically explain it, energy healing and breath work is just the restarting of your system. And sometimes we can't do that by ourselves. So we just need someone who is trained in this. Doesn't make the person better than you or higher than you. It's just someone who is a reflection of you, who has a piece of you that you don't have quite yet. And they're sharing that piece with you for you to be the full puzzle piece that you truthfully are.
Yeah, you know, I've thought about that too. Like, I've met many people, excuse me, on my journey. And, you know, I've met people that they go, oh, well, I'm a healer. You know, and they're walking around like, yeah, I heal people, I heal. And like, I've always had a little bit of trouble with that because are you healing or is the universe healing? Right? So I would, you know, like some people have looked at me and they go, oh man, you're a healer. And I go, you know, I consider myself more like a paintbrush, you know, in the master's hand. Like whoever made this wonderful, incredible machine right here, I'm just a conduit of electricity, like that energy that's coming in. I'm open enough to allow whatever I see or feel or just like have that intuition that they need at that moment, you know, to do that. But everything's energy, you know, just like everything is vibrating around us, right? This is what the ancients knew a long time ago. Modern scientists are just, you know, catching up now saying, oh yeah, you know, the atoms, right? They thought it was a solid. Now they changed the model. Now it's vibrating, you know, with the nucleus and all of the neurons are moving. You know, but, you know, if you want to learn about the planet and about humans, a good place to start is like in ancient India. They will tell you what's been happening on this planet and about energy work and different things in that realm and stuff like that. So, but being that energy is working through you in that way, you know, tell me perhaps a story of like someone who walked away with something and, you know, how they felt and or how it moved them in some, you know, significant way, man.
So I can tell you a personal story of a little brother of mine that he comes from the stereotypical immigrant family that they have very hard ways of thinking, kind of closed-minded. It's based on the culture, how we were raised for thousands of generations, so you can't blame anyone. It's trauma and karmatic cycles conditioned. My younger brother had a very stressful time because he's very aware for his age, but of course not everyone has the blessing to be aware at such a young age. And at one point of his life, he contemplated suicide. He wanted to jump off the roof of his home. And he told me the only reason why he did not was because he went back into the private messages that me and him shared. And he listened to every message that we've ever shared. And it gave him that realization that there was so much to live for. And back to what you were saying before. Just because I'm a healer doesn't mean I'm this Christ-like being. At the end of the day, this flesh and this image that you're seeing in front of you is just a representation of an idea. I might be Alexis, but I'm just flesh and bone. This will decay eventually. This is something that is temporary, and this is something that is not real. What is real is the message behind Alexis. At the end of the day, I'm just a vessel that is channeling God, that is channeling source. When I heal people, Alexis is not this super amazing guru that is healing someone. Alexis is a vessel that is allowing purity to flow through him to heal that person. And at the end of the day, that person is also allowing themselves to be healed. My little brother could have jumped off the bridge that day, or the roof that day. But he made the choice to listen to what Alexis said. And at the end of the day, that was just God speaking with the voice of Alexis. Because as humans, we are ignorant and we fear the unknown. So we need something that our brain can logically comprehend. So at the end of the day, my little brother listened to God through my voice, and he allowed God to come into himself. And that's why he was able to make the choice to continue living, not just for himself, but for everyone around him. He is a young artist who makes music. And during that period of his life, his music kind of stopped for a while because he had to focus on himself. And when he made that realization, that's when he realized, I have a voice, I have a message, and through me living, I can not only heal myself, but I can heal people who are going through the same things that might not realize that they're not by themselves. Everyone has had that contemplation of, this world is overwhelming, it'd just be easier if I were to end it all. And that's a selfish thing, not because of what you go through, but because you have so much to express. And you just being your authentic self, through your trauma, your depression, your anxiety, through your fears, through your demons, you're giving someone else empowerment who's going through the same thing that they thought, yo, I'm by myself and no one can get it. Just by you going in front of a camera and expressing yourself, just you talking to a stranger who looks like they're having a bad day, you can change someone's life. Just like how I was given the blessing of being able to change my brother's life, because it is a privilege that I can help someone like that. It is not something that makes me better or wiser, because at the end of the day, if I cut my wrist, I bleed the same red blood that we all bleed. If I take a deep breath, I'm breathing the same oxygen that we're breathing. I am exhaling the same carbon. I am no different or better than anyone else. I am the exact same. So if someone sees me a certain way, at the end of the day, it is a reflection. They are seeing themselves. And community is something that can help people see that reflection. Listening to a guided meditation and being in a room with other people who are suffering, if not in the same way, in similar ways, you realize that we are all cut from the same tree. We are all the same fruit being nourished by the same tree, connected to the same earth. We all share that same humanity. And that's why we are here. That's why we facilitate space. That's why us healers are here. We're not here to validate our egos. We're not here to make money. We're not here to do third dimensional things. We're here for the greatest good. We are here for the sake of us. There is in I, there is I, not I. I. And the eye is what the eye can completely see, and the eye can see many things.
I see.
And that's why we build community here. That's why we facilitate community.
Amen, brother.
For all of our family.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, and I look forward to working with you on many things, man. We've had quite deep conversations in such a short time, and I said, man, I have to get you on film and just share this information with people, and so many things will come from this. I know that. I know it. I feel it. So why don't you tell everybody where they could find you?
If you'd like to contact me, if you'd like to ask on like my services, or even to have a casual conversation. Maybe you're having a difficult time and you just want someone to listen to. You can reach out to me on Instagram, The Key to Success, DOH_key_2_success. I am a busy person in the sense that I'm busy doing my mission. So even if I don't respond immediately, I will always have the time and I will always have the energy for my people. And before anything, I want to give thanks to you for bestowing to me the honor of being in front of a camera to share all that I feel inside. Because I don't think a lot when I talk, it just comes from within. And it is an honor to have space, to be working with such incredible people such as yourself, and being able to just be part of the bigger picture. That in and of itself is such a privilege that I give gratitude every single day that I can be utilized as a vessel for Source. So please reach out to me. And I am not the only one. Besides Omziel and myself, there are so many other people. This is just the commencement of something beautiful. So please, if you feel the resonation within, reach out. And don't let fear hold you back. Don't think, oh, he doesn't want to hear me, or he's busy, or my problems are not worth it. If you feel it, if you are capable of feeling that within, it is worth expressing, because you are worth expressing yourself. So please reach out to me for whatever reason it may be. My mission is for humanity. It's not for me. It is for the I. We are here for I. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to us, and thank you for taking the energy out of your frequency to digest this and to contemplate this.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. I know you speak from the heart, filled with lots of passion.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you. Thank you so much. And just enjoy your life. That's what it's all about. Amen.
Have a blessed day.